This blend is either beautifully crafted or a bourbon butcher. Stick around to find out. Happy bourbon review time, guys. I have a fantastic bourbon for you today. We're going to go with K. Luke. Now, K. Luke, he actually started, I think his name was Johnathan Newton. He started with just doing barrel picks for his liquor store in Alabama. And eventually, after picking all these great different barrel picks for his place to sell, he turned it into a full-fledged bottling operation. So what he does is he's a blender. Now, we don't talk a lot about blenders. I mean, you don't really hear, blender out there. All you hear is distillery. Well, guess what? Instead of distilling, what he does is he goes to like Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky, and he sources these barrel picks. And what he'll do is he'll blend them to his own taste. So what he makes is really his own brand. Yes, he is not distilling it, but this is very, very much a product of his imagination and of his palate. This right here is batch 11. I've heard nothing but good things. I cracked it open a while ago and I really, really enjoyed it. Now that it's had a little bit of time to breathe, I'm really excited to dig back in and see how it is. So for batch 11, we have 120 proof. Now that's a nice sizzling taste right there. But honestly, last time I had it, it didn't drink like 120 proof. It was really, really smooth. I remember it had these rich notes of caramel and toasted marshmallow, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. For batch 11, this version right here was distilled in Kentucky and Indiana and blended to be this specific bottle. Everything he does is small batch, limited release, and it's a blend of 5 to 8 year old whiskeys. MSRP on this comes out to be about $70 to $80. I think I ended up getting this one. It was $100 online. It was sent to me by one of my good friends, Willie, who told me I just had to try this brand. And anytime a new whiskey is sent to me, I'm always a little skeptical. And boy, did he come through. This is fantastic. I really enjoyed this one. Nice little story in the back. After tasting thousands of barrels, Johnathan and his wife Jennifer decided it was time to create their own brand. K. Luke, sharing their love for whiskey and family with you. This blend is a combination of mash bills containing up to 36% rye from Kentucky and Indiana, creating a balanced blend and layered bourbon. Bottled non-chill, filtered at barrel strength, so you can taste all the flavors just as they did, straight from the barrels. K. Luke is a tribute to both of their children, Caitlin and Lucas. We hope you enjoy this bourbon with family, friends, as much as we do. Cheers. And honestly, guys, as a family man myself, I love the fact that they work their family and that fits into this. It just adds to the flavor profile and just makes it so much better to me. Whenever you do things for family and for charity, you earn a special spot in my heart. I don't honestly know if they have a brick and mortar, but I know you can definitely get it online at like Seabox and other things like that. If you're interested, if you like this review, I know you can definitely get them online. Having tried it before, it's worth a try. I think you'll be highly impressed. All right, let's give her a sniff. I mean, once again, I actually forgot about it since I opened this thing last. Bananas. I love bananas. If apple is on one end of the spectrum of things that I dislike and that can ruin a good bourbon for me, bananas is on the other end. And I don't know if it just brings back those nostalgic Old Forester 117 series vibes, but I love bananas. I love bananas on a nose. And you also get like cherries. You get a little toasted marshmallow. I mean, it's just got a nice, deep, complex nose to it. Cheers, everybody. Get the palate cleanser. Golly, this is one good bourbon. We don't talk enough about blends. I don't know why. The mashing grains and the river roots out there, and the K. Lukes out there, they really are something to write home about. And we focus so much on these distilleries, we don't give these guys the credit that we really deserve. On the palate, brown sugar, caramel, toffee. It ends with a little black pepper, a little bit of spice, and really that banana flavor just comes through, and it is so nice. The banana really just mellows out all the rest of the spices and the flavors, and it just has a nice medium to long finish. It just sits on your tongue. It's very heavy. It's very viscous. It's the exact experience you want to get out of a bourbon. And I don't even say drinking. Honestly, this is good. This is an experience. And that's what I kind of hope all you guys are getting out of this. Why do I do these things? Why do I sit here in front of a camera and talk about random bourbons? Is it because I really like alcohol? No, it's because it's a fun, flavorful experience. It's something that you can enjoy. It's like having a good steak or having a good dessert. I just choose to do this with bourbon. And I also find bottles, you'll notice, that aren't these all the crazy Pappy Van Winkles and the things that you're actually not ever going to find on a shelf. I try to review bottles that I find in my local stores. Some are sent to me. I try to review the everyday, every man's bourbon, the things that you actually would drink, that you can find, and that you can afford, because God knows I'm with you on that one. Everything nowadays is getting more and more expensive. So I'm really happy you guys are all joining me for this hobby. K-Luke right here is a knockout of the park. I highly recommend it. This is one of the better blended bourbon batches I've tried. Blended bourbon batches. Yes, blended bourbon batches I've tried. And honestly, one of the nice things about blending bourbon is you can select the flavor profiles you want. So you don't just have to kind of have the surprise of what comes out of that cask. You can sit there and say, I really like this from Indiana, I really like this from Kentucky, or this from MGP. And you can piece all these things together to get the exact palate you want. And that's why some of these things like K-Luke, River Roots, and Mash and Grain can come out with such a fantastic juice. It's because it's selected by these master blenders for their flavor profiles. These guys that have fantastic palates that know what we like. And by putting this fantastic blend into a bottle, we get to experience exactly what the story they're looking to tell is. So if you guys are only sticking to distilleries and not blenders, I highly recommend you do give blenders a chance. K-Luke Batch 11 is what you get when passion meets palate meets precision. This is something that should be enjoyed neat, or with maybe a cube of ice. I probably wouldn't mix this at all. It's really, really good. Straight up, it's really satisfying, and it's a wonderful experience. Neat, bold, and beautifully balanced, K-Luke is an example of what blending should be. Guys, I give this a 7 out of 10. And if you're looking to get out of your staple of what you drink every single day, sticking to the Buffalo Trace Mashbills, I highly recommend you branch out and give him a try. Everybody, as always, thank you for joining me on this journey. And like I always say, bourbon's better with friends. Cheers. Boom, caught it. Try it again.